Hi, I'm Yvonne Logan. I'm taking POS 500 and I'm going to be talking about the initiative and the referendum. Okay, so the basic definition of the initiative is the power of the people to propose and enact legislation without action by the legislature. Now, this is based on the U.S. legal definition that I found online. And the referendum is the power of the people to approve or reject any act of the legislative, and also to provide or reject legislation that the legislative have referred to them. Now, both the initiative and the referendum is processes of direct democracy. Initiative and referendums must be based upon the legislative authority and, I guess, constitutional rights, and they have to be conducted, I guess, the same, right? So the subject matter of the initiative and the referendum is kind of limited by the powers that was by the powers in the legislation frequently provides that certain matters are not subject like to the initiative or referendum. Okay, now the history behind the initiative and the referendum in Arizona began when it acquired statewide initiative referendum and recall rights around 1912. So the first initiative in the state was for women's suffrage. The initiative passed by a margin of the greater two to one on November 5th, 1912. In 1914, Arizona saw a total of 15 qualified initiatives, which held the record until 2006. 19 were passed. Okay. Because this amendment, needed to be approved of the voters, the Arizona Federation of Labor waged a campaign against the measures that was being taken. So the amendment was defeated in 1916. This was the amendment of, what was it? Employment. Okay. This is too hard. Sorry. So there are two different types of initiatives: indirect initiative and direct initiative. Indirect initiatives was citizens collect signatures, and then after which the state or local government would consider to either adopt or to put it on the ballot. Direct initiative is citizens draft a proposal that goes directly to the ballot. There are three types of referendums: legislative referendum, veto referendum, and I don't know how to pronounce this. Ple plebiscite. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. Okay, so legislative referendums is the general idea that most closely applies to the legislative referendum in the U.S. politics. The legislative referendum process allows you and other thoughtful, well read citizens to vote on the ballot measure that orientated from the state or the local legislative. Veto referendum can also be called the referendum can also be called veto referendum, which refers to the citizens initiate ballot measure. With the veto referendum, citizens collect signatures to either uphold or repeal existing legislation, and then if they get enough, the matter goes up for vote on the ballot. Now, this third one that I don't know how to pronounce, plebiscite, it says that it sounds like a rude word that someone might call you, but it's largely synopsis with the referendum. Some people make this distinction between the word that I can't pronounce specifically involve larger questions or policies like modeling the constitution or leadership and things like that. So there's some pros and cons of the referendum. Some of the pros and cons of the referendums is it provides a level of political support for difficult decisions. It creates specific points of like negotiation, and then it creates a mandate to follow. That's some of the pros for the referendum. Some of the cons for the referendum is that it allows for forced actors to campaign for specific results, and then it creates a little bit of a division because I mean it creates a division within the like communities because it like narrows like either victory or loss and things like that. So the initiative, the good the good of the advantages is that the vote actually counts. There's total transparency, and then there's more of a check, I guess, a check and balance of it. And then the bad is it's difficult to amend or appeal a law, via the system. Now, the last question was explain how the initiative and referendum support the ideas of the direct democracy as outlined in the Constitution. So, direct democracy mechanisms such as the referendum, citizens initiative, agenda initiatives, and recall votes reinforce the fundamental principles of democratic self government by allowing people to vote and collect signatures and things like that. This also provides a check on the tendency of representation to become disconnected from the electors.